Welcome to our lesson for today, that is Mathematics Class 8. Our topic is time, distance, and speed. So ensure you have a place to write before we start this topic together. So time can be expressed in 24-hour clock system and also in 12-hour clock system. What is the time right now? If you look at your watch, or if you have a clock at home, you can be able to say to tell the time, maybe in 24-hour clock system or in 12-hour clock system. So if you look at our slide here, 12 and 24-hour clock system, we say many organizations they use 24-hour clock system, where instead of starting another 12-hour cycle at midday, you continue counting on the hours. So the difference between 12-hour clock system and 24-hour clock system is after reaching midday, in 12-hour clock system, you will start recounting another cycle of 12 hours. But if you're using 24-hour clock system, you continue until you reach the 24-hour clock mark. That is the end of a day. Remember, one day is 24 hours. So 12-hour clock system, the day is split into morning, that is AM. After midnight, we call it an afternoon, that is PM, past midday. 24-hour clock system, it records time as far as how many hours and minutes has passed since midnight. So 7 AM and 7 or 0700 hours, there's no need for you to write this point which is here. So you can just call it 0700 hours or 700 hours, both mean 7 in the morning. 7 p.m. and 1900 hours or 1900 hours, both mean 7 in the evening. So don't confuse. When you're writing time in 24-hour clock system, there is no AM or PM. You just count the time that has passed since midnight. A quick way to change 12-hour clock system or 12-hour clock times 24-hour clock time is to add 12. If I give you, for example, 13, that is after midnight, after midday. 13. If I give you 1 p.m., I want to change it into 24-hour clock system. You only need to add 12, and your time will be changed into 24-hour clock system. In 24-hour clock system, also midday is shown as 1200 hours or 1200 hours, and midnight is shown as 2400 hours. Spoken times. If you want maybe to tell us what is the time maybe in 24-hour clock system, and it is 1300, you can say it is 1300 hours. 300 or 3 a.m. in the morning can be read as 300 hours, something like that. So if you look at the table here, the day starts at midnight, that is 00 hours. And then 01 or 100 hours is the same as 1 a.m. 100 a.m. or 1 hour has passed since midnight. Then you continue. When you reach midday here is now when you'll get the difference. It's because in 12-hour clock system, you restart again, counting hours from midday. You call this one is 1 p.m. But if you're using 24-hour clock system, it is 1300 hours. So, but if I give you 1 p.m., you want to change it into 24-hour clock system, it is 13 hours. It is 1 plus 12, which is 13. If it is 9 plus 12 is 2100 hours until you reach the end of the day. So as a candidate, ensure you have this table in your book. Today I'm not going to give you a lot of questions, or I'm not going to give you questions for today. I just want you to have this table here. It will help you in this topic. So this is your clock. You can look at it. How to tell the time using 24-hour clock system. I've told you 1 is the same as 13. You add 12, this is maybe 1 p.m. is the same as 1300 hours. 2 is the same as 14. And 11 is the same as 2300 hours. So this clock is in 12 and also in 24-hour clock system. You can use it to tell time depending on the requirement or how the question has been set. So our candidate class, this topic is very important and it is very broad. That is why we are starting from this time. First of all, you must understand 24-hour clock and 12-hour clock system, how they work. So the first thing I'll check as far as this topic is concerned, and all of you, is to draw this table. And I'm going giving you instructions how this table should look like. You just write time, you write 12 and 24-hour clock systems, and then you come here and write 24-hour clock system and 12-hour clock system. Now, when you're writing this 24-hour clock system, I want you to avoid this point that is here. You just write 0100 hours, but this one you write 1.00 a.m. Just write this one is 0400 hours, avoid this point that is here. Just arrange your work like this in a table like this. That is the first thing I want to see. As far as this topic is concerned, you must have this. So after drawing that table, now let's continue. Or what are also some of the areas that I also want to see in your books? We are talking about time, and today also we want to talk about the arrival time. When you want to arrive somewhere is your departure. The departure is when you start your journey. So arrival is when your journey ends. So ending time, or what you call arrival time, is equals to starting time, what you call your departure time, plus the duration, with duration being the time taken for your journey. You can start your journey at 9, and then your journey takes, or your journey is supposed to take 3 hours. So 3 hours is your duration, and 9 a.m. is the departure time, or the time that you are starting. So when will you arrive where you are going? So you are going to add, that is your departure time plus duration. But if I want to find the departure, I'll do the opposite. I'll arrival, the time that you arrived, and then I subtract by the time taken, or what we call the duration. But if I want to find the duration or the time taken for your journey, it is the arrival, the time that you arrived, minus the departure time, the time that you depart. Time can be expressed in 24-hour clock system and also in 12-hour clock system as seen from the previous table. And also understand that 1 day is equals to 24 hours. 1 day is equivalent to 24 hours. So 2 days is 48 hours, 3 days, 72 hours, and so forth. So this formula will be very helpful for us as we continue with this topic. So I have just given you 2 questions. And today, let's start with how to find the arrival time or the ending time. When you start doing things today, some of the things might be finished the following day. So all of you can be able. Also, just know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So let's move to our first example. And our example is asking us to find the arrival time, or what we call the ending time. A car left Nanyuki for Isiolo at 20:45 hours, or 20:45 hours on Monday. If the journey took 7 hours and 50 minutes, at what time and day in AM or PM did the car arrive in Isiolo? So these signs are not supposed to be here, no problem. Just read this one as 20:45 hours without this one, because we don't have AM or PM. Then the question is at what time and day in AM or PM. So when you see in AM or PM, it means in 12-hour clock system did the car arrive in Isiolo. So let's start with our formula. Arrival time is equal to departure time plus duration. So what is the departure time? 20:45, then we'll add 7 hours and 50 minutes. So 45 plus 90 plus 50 is 95. And then all of you know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, so I need to subtract here minus 60. I will remain with 35, and then I carry 1 hour. So I'll get 28, 35 hours. And remember, one day is 24 hours. So I need to subtract. I will not arrive, or the car will not arrive in Isolo on Monday, but now the following day. So from Monday, already you can see here hours is more than 24. So that means it arrived the following day. But at what time? We need to subtract here, minus 24. So 28, 35, whatever you get here, minus 24, then you shift to the following day. 28, 35 hours minus 24 hours is 04, 35 hours. So in 24-hour clock system, this is your answer. So if the question here was, at what time in 24-hour clock system, your answer is on Tuesday, 04, 35 hours. But because they are telling us in AM or PM, it's now Tuesday, 4:35 a.m. in the morning. 4:35 a.m. is the arrival time in Isiolo in 24-hour clock system, or what we call AM or PM. That is our first example. But make sure when you are adding here, you are able to establish that if your answer is more than 24, it means now you have moved now to the next day. You are not talking about now Monday. You are now moving to the next day, which is Tuesday. So Tuesday, 4:35 a.m. is our arrival time. Then let's now check our last example. A baby started sleeping at 9:20 p.m. on Friday. If she slept for 8¾ hours, at what time did you wake up in 24-hour clock system? Very easy. So ending time, or the time that the baby will finish sleeping, is when the baby started plus the time taken, or the duration, the time taken for by the baby during the sleep. But before you add, make sure or ensure your starting time is in 24-hour clock system. This is 9:20 p.m. This time must be changed into 24-hour clock system. And I told you the best way for you to change is you add 12 here. So very fast, you add 12 here, 12 hours here. 9:20 p.m. is the same as 21:20 hours. Remember, the day is almost coming to an end because one day is 24 hours. So already 21:20 hours has passed since midnight. So Friday is almost coming to an end. And the baby slept for 8 hours and 3/4 hours. So 8 hours and 3/4 hours, it is 8 hours and how many minutes? So change this 3/4 into minutes. 3 over 4 times 60, you'll get 45 minutes. So the time taken is 8 hours and 45 minutes. So let's add. Friday 21:20 hours plus 8:45. This is side for hours and this one is side for minutes. 20 plus 45 is 60. 20 plus 45 is 65. So you subtract 60 and then you carry 1 hour. You will remain with only 5 minutes here and 30 hours. So it is 30:05 hours. It has already surpassed 24 hours. So that means the baby woke up the following day, the next day. But at what time? You subtract 30:05 hours minus 24 hours, and you will get in 24-hour clock system, the baby woke up on Saturday 06:05 hours. Or if they want it in 12-hour clock system, is on Saturday 6:05 a.m. in the morning or after midnight. So ensure you write that table that I gave you on the first slide, and also write down these two examples. When we meet next, we're going to do how to find the departure time and also how to find the duration or the time taken for a certain activity to take place. So write my examples down and then you send your work. I'll be able to attend to them. Have a good day.